All right, hello. Just explaining a chest routine that I did 320, 2025. One of the first exercises that I did was a gymnast ring push-up, and it's a V, like a V push-up. So I hold it in this V shape, and you have to hold it pretty tightly, and then just push it up. I am not going to demonstrate it here well, you know what? Let's give it a try, I guess. We'll just give it a try. We'll see if I can do it. Normally, I like to have more of a warm-up, but oh well, it is what it is. So you just hold it in the V shape here, and you want to make sure it's in a good position. You'll have to kind of play around and find that. Sometimes it's hard to find it. And you want it to be fairly, spread your legs just a little bit so you have balance. And then you kind of focus on pushing them together. So I was actually able to do it there, so I'm glad about that. It's kind of a weird movement that it takes some warming up for, let's just say that. So I'm actually happy that I was able to do that with no warm-up. And it's pretty strenuous on your whole upper body. Your upper body will be kind of shaking. It's a lot of balance. So it's an exercise I like to do from time to time as a push-up variation to kind of just test my grip and just balance, and definitely works your chest. Obviously, it's a push-up. But if you've never tried this and you're fairly, I don't know, if you're fairly strong, I guess, at push-ups, you could try this. Just be careful, obviously. You might try it on your knees first to get the feel for it, and then kind of move towards doing it normal style. But I do feel it is beneficial. You could also just do it like out here like that. I've never really tried it that way, but it'd probably be kind of similar to those push-up spikes that they make. But that's what I did for my first exercise push-up variation, gymnast ring V push-ups. And what I did is I just kept it with the body weight. Just did 4 reps, 4 reps, 6 reps, 6 reps. And then once I get pretty taxed on these, like it's like I'm pretty much done. And I ended with 2 reps, and decided, you know what, that's enough for now. Next time I do these, I'll probably try to do maybe 1 more set. So I did 5 sets. So next time, I'll probably try to add in maybe a 6th set and see if I can't do any more. I think the most I've ever gotten rep-wise is like 10, but don't quote me on that. I can't remember. It was either 8 or 10, one of those. So this is a very strenuous exercise. So the next thing I did was the power twister, and it's just an overhand power twister. So these are just, they're called a power twister. It's just a spring, basically. You can do it underhand style and overhand style, and there's other variations as well. You can use it like for curls and all sorts of stuff. But so I just did the overhand version, just like that. And that's that. And it does come with these are like safety straps. Just put your hands in there. That's so if you lose your grip or something, it doesn't fly and hit you in the face. So if you never used these before, obviously start light and be careful, because this can slap you right in the face, probably knock you out if it hits you just right. So just be careful with that. It's called a power twister, and it's a pretty useful chest training tool. You can also use it for bicep curls, all sorts of things. There's all sorts of stuff you can do with it. So if you've ever seen one, I recommend checking it out. I think it's a good tool to have at for a home gym. It's pretty small. You can store it away, and it's pretty useful. So that is what I did there. And I have different ones of these. That one's a 40 kg. I have a 30 kg, which I started out with 12 reps. 40 kg, 12 reps. Then I have an orange 50 kg, 7 reps. And then the black kg, 50 kg, 12 reps. So the orange and the black, they have a different spring or a different metal. So it's like a different strength. So although it's the same kg, it takes a different amount of strength to close it. I'm not for sure, because to me it doesn't make sense. Like, how is it the same kg if it, you know, it is what it is though. I'm sure there's some kind of scientific explanation to that, but I myself at this time do not know that. But I do know the different colors it's kind of like a different type of steel, so it does take more strength to close it, although it's the same kg. So it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense in that aspect. But I'm rambling too much, so we'll just go on. So the last one I did was a black 60 kg. Could only get 4 reps with that one. The overhand style for me is harder than the underhand style. That's why I choose to keep doing the overhand style, because I'm weaker at it. So I'm trying to build my strength for that. The last exercise I did was just an exercise I kind of came up with on the fly. If I can find, okay, here it is. So this is just kind of, it's kind of a front raise, but you're coming across your body and you're just focusing on flexing your chest. So you're not really raising it that high, but you're just flexing your chest as you raise it. So it's not really an exercise you're going to use a lot of weight on. It's more of kind of like a pump, like a finisher. So it's kind of like a underhand cable cross, like a low pulley cable crossover, kind of. So if you don't have a cable system at home, or like a low cable system, you can give this a try, and it works pretty well. So just focus on flexing your chest as you're coming across. You're lifting the weight with your chest. So kind of just really focus on flexing your chest with each rep. So I just called that a what did I call it here? A dumbbell crossover, I guess. I don't really have like any. I'm sure there's a different term for it. I'm sure I didn't come up with it, but I hadn't seen it before, so I decided to do that. Worked pretty well, so threw it in there last, just for like one last pump, and that's what I did for my chest routine that day. Nothing too complicated. So if you have any questions or comments, just leave them down below. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.